My drum part for this month's song is mostly the same thing happening over and over, but it has a lot of something that I'm asked about all the time, which is opening and closing the hi-hat, and that's what you're going to be learning about today. The left foot is usually the last limb that comes into play when you're learning the drums, so I understand why opening the hi-hat seems like such an unattainable thing at first. But in the end, it all comes down to coordination, just like everything else that we do here. There are two ways we can move our foot to get the hi-hat to come apart. We can pick up our entire leg like we do when we play the bass drum, or we can leave our heel down and use the front of our ankle. I've seen people get away with either, but personally, I like to leave my heel down and use the front of my ankle. When I'm stomping my right leg to play the bass drum, picking up my left leg makes me feel very off balance, but leaving my heel down does not. The hi-hat can be open or closed against my right leg being up or down, and it doesn't matter because my left heel is grounded the whole time. The beat I played in the song is the classic disco beat, but to get started, let's scale things back so that we can focus more on getting our left foot to do what we want it to do. Line 1 is a very simple beat made up of 8th notes on the hi-hat, snare on counts 2 and 4, and bass drums on counts 1 and 3. We're going to start working on getting our hi-hat to open and close by opening it on the and of 4 in the first measure and closing it on beat 1 of the second measure. We know this because the O over the hi-hat means open, and the X underneath the bottom line means to play the hi-hat with your foot or to close it. You might run into some music that notates a closed hi-hat with a plus sign over the top X, but since the X underneath the bottom line means to play the hi-hat with your left foot, I choose to notate it that way because that's what we're doing. So, this means that our feet are going to be coming down together on beat 1 of that second measure. Remember that your left foot is closing the hi-hat. It isn't necessarily trying to get a sound out of it. It's trying to end the open sound that our hand played. So you don't need to hear the sound of the hi-hat. As long as the open sound is ending, it's okay for the bass drum to bury the sound of the hi-hats coming together. This beat isn't too difficult, but the coordination of using your left foot might really throw you off, so let's keep this slow at first. If you get a closed hi-hat sound when you hit the and of 4, you need to lift your left foot just a split second earlier. And if the open sound of the hi-hat is ending before you play the bass drum on beat 1, you need to leave your left foot up longer because the closed hi-hat should be happening at the same time that you play the bass drum. For line 2, we're going to open the hi-hat an 8th note earlier on beat 4, which means we'll be closing it on the and of 4 as we also hit the hi-hat with our hand. This coordination will probably also feel weird because as both of your hands come down on beat 4, your left foot is coming up. Then on the and of 4, you need to close the hi-hat at the exact same time that you hit it with your hand so that you only hear one closed hi-hat sound. Your foot and hand play it at the exact same time. If you get 2 distinct hi-hat hits, your left foot is closing too early, and if you get a short open sound when you hit it with your hand, your foot is closing too late. At a slow speed, it sounds like this. Line 3 moves the open hi-hat back another 8th note to the and of 3, which means that we'll be closing it on beat 4 as we play the hi-hat and snare with our hands, like this. For line 4, we're going to move the open hi-hat back by one more 8th note so that it's opening on count 3. This is going to happen as we play the bass drum, which means that as your left foot comes up, your right foot is going down. Like I said, this all comes down to coordination. And just like in line 2, your hand and left foot need to work together to create one hi-hat sound on the close. Work on those 4 lines until opening and closing the hi-hat feels easier, and then speed it up. You want to get to a place where opening and closing the hi-hat is effortless and you don't even really need to think about it. As you're working on those, you can throw line 5 into the mix, which is what I played through most of the song. This beat differs from what we did in the first 4 lines because here the hi-hat only plays on the and counts while the bass drum plays on every downbeat. The only similarity is that the snares are still on counts 2 and 4. Before we try playing this, notice that our feet are coming down together every single time that they play, and our right hand is always playing by itself on an open hi-hat. Our right hand and left foot by themselves sound like this. And adding the bass drum with every closed hi-hat sounds like this. Once you have that down, it's just a matter of playing the snare along with your feet on counts 2 and 4. I get a lot of questions about how to open and close the hi-hat, so I hope this helped to get you started. Have fun with it, and I will see you next month.